Good morning. It's Thursday. Happy November. We're on the 2nd. Dr. Melynda Connor here for your business communication course. I'm getting a lot of questions about the assignment due to this week, this Sunday on the 5th. It's your section drafts. So I thought I'd come on and go over a few things that I thought were pretty clear, but evidently are not. So last week, you chose what section you were going to complete for your team project. Okay. So this week, you are going to make sure that you have that section 80% complete. At least you can have it 100% complete. That's fine. But you need to have it at least 80% complete. And it needs to contain at least 2 citations or references to sources that your team is using. Now, that doesn't mean that there need to be 10 sources with each section having exclusive rights to 2 sources. No, your team can share sources. And as long as you reference at least 2 of them in your section, you've met the requirement. Okay, so let's take a look at these assignment instructions. I'm going to share my screen. And it says I'm sharing, so y'all should be able to see Module 5 assignments here. The Global Awareness Team Presentation Project instructions are going to guide you completely through this process. So if we click on those, you'll notice that all of the instructions and learning objectives are here while we're doing it. This is where many of you missed you need to read these instructions very closely and carefully because that's part of business communication. You're going to get lots of documents and people are going to expect you to read them carefully and follow instructions well. So that's part of this assignment. It's part of all of my assignments, right? So notice that here's where the list of possible countries were. Some of y'all missed that. But this is what you're doing. You are a part of Connor Global, and we are an international company with branches on multiple continents. Employees who work in the corporate center need to know how to do business in these other countries. And so your team this month has been tasked with telling Connor Global employees how to do business in that country. Now notice the tasks tell you exactly what to do. There's meeting 1, you've already completed that. Here's meeting 2. This is where we are. Section draft submission. It's due 11/5. You're going to collaborate on your draft constructions. You're going to submit the assignment as a Word doc. Don't worry about this. Fill in the first 6 items. I took those out of the template, so ignore that. I didn't upload a whole new document here for that, but just ignore the first 6 items. Do put your name and your title, everything that's on the template. And then write out your section only and submit that individually, okay? And then post your meeting attendance in the discussion forum so that I know who was there and who was not, right? So let's get down to the criteria section. How do we do this? So you're meeting however you're meeting, right? You might be meeting just in the discussion forum, which is fine, as long as that works for you. You're meeting all kinds of ways, but here are your sections, right? There's the introduction, the overview, the identification, explanation, and the conclusion. Y'all found those last week. So if you have the introduction, you can see what's going to be happening in all of these other sections. So you can put together kind of a skeletal introduction. Robbie's going to be talking about the overview of our culture. Something like your introduction could be, hello, welcome to our presentation. We will be talking to you about how to do business in China. And then say, we're going to review the overview of the culture, the identification of communication differences. We're going to explain the business norms, and then we'll give a wrap up. And you can tell in your introduction who's going to do that. Robbie's going to tell you about the overview of the culture, and Taylor's going to tell you about the identification, and Haley's going to explain the business norms. You can put together at least 80%, your introduction and your conclusion, because the conclusion is just a reverse of the introduction. The introduction, you're going to tell them what you're going to tell them. And then in your main points, you're going to tell them. And then in your conclusion, you're going to tell them what you told them, right? So it's not hard. And for each of the sections, I tell you exactly what needs to happen in that section. Give an overview of the culture itself, right? Especially the business culture within that country. Is it formal or informal? How does it view punctuality? Everybody has to have enough information to speak for 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, not 1.5 to 2, right? 2 to 3 minutes. And as long as you put that together with your sources, you're going to be just fine. So you're going to use the template. Notice that I have this down here, section draft, team meeting 2. You've got your team speech template and outline guide. Okay, it's right here. So you're going to download this and fill it in. You'll put your name, you'll put the purpose of the presentation. I'll give you an example of that. The title of your presentation. Actually, for your section, I want the purpose of your section and the title of your section. I mean, it's just not that hard to make that leap, guys. We're going to use this template 2 ways. You're going to use it to structure your section, because your section needs to have some sort of introduction, your 3 main points, and some sort of conclusion. Okay, and then you're going to use the same template to put all the sections together for your presentation. So for your section, what is the purpose of your section? You know, and what is the title of your section? If you have overview, well, then the purpose of the overview is to give an overview of the culture and the formality and this. I mean, you're putting this together. You're college students, you know how to do this. Don't doubt yourself. You've got this. Okay, so you're going to have a title, overview, and then your introduction. You're going to go ahead and tell them what you're going to tell them, right? We just kind of went over that. As far as the introduction to your section, it's like, hi, I'm Melynda. I'm here to tell you to give you an overview of the culture in China and how they do business. This is how they're formal. These are some other points to remember. And then connectives. I gave you a connective worksheet called Using Connectives. It's in the lecture modules. I'll show you in just a minute where it is. But connectives help our information flow. Okay, your main point is probably going to be, if you have overview, the formality of the culture, and then use connective, and then your main point 2 is something else that you found about the culture in general that might pertain to the way they do business, and then connect it to your 3rd main point, which is the other thing that you found that has to do with overview of the culture. And then connect that to your conclusion. Well, now I've told you about this, this, and this, and I'm going to hand it over to David so that he can tell you more about whatever that next section is. Okay, so use this as a way to construct your section so that it flows and so that it will align with the rest of your presentation that you will be doing next week and putting together. So to look at where the connectives are, it's right here, using connectives. And then I've got instructions for you. Connectives are transitions, internal previews, internal summaries, signposts. You can also use a combination of connectives. But I have all of this information here for you. It just takes time to read, and you have to pay close attention. So if you have any other questions for me, please let me know. I'm here and available. Email me, or we can schedule a time to talk. I do meet with students outside of office hours. We just have to have a conversation about what's best for you and what's best for me. So I'm happy to talk to you about this on the phone, via Zoom, via email. Just let me know, because I'm here to answer the questions, and I'm happy to do so. Let me know. Talk to you later.